Well, we're just a couple of weeks away from the release of the Fantastic Four movie for what is the third or maybe the fourth attempt in trying to make it work. And with the new trailer out and a lot of leaks from the recent screening, it seems like the perfect time to discuss it. Now, we can all see that this year hasn't been exactly the strong one for Marvel, with releases of Captain America, the Thunderbolts, and the animated Spider-Man show failing to create any kind of real excitement, and in some cases even profit. And that seems to be a trend that's going to continue. I think it's clear to most people that Ironheart isn't going to do well, and it seems Marvel feel the same with how little it's been shown. So it all comes down to Marvel at least has tried this time around by giving us the Fantastic Four in the 60s like when they first appeared, so at least they won't be tied to the overall MCU for their first movie, and it gives them a little bit of breathing room, and it also gets to show us a bit of cool yet retro futuristic look at the 60s. Add that with some of the comic book accurate suits showing us the real Galactus and not just a cloud, and a decent first trailer, it seems it's going to be set up for success. But you'd be wrong. First off, there is the cast, which set a lot of people off from the get-go. You might think that after the great fan reception of seeing John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, the choice would be obvious, but with the rumours that multiple actors have already turned on the role of Mr. Fantastic, it was inevitable Hollywood's saving grace, Pedro Pascal himself, would take up the role. Now I can't blame the guy, I would do the same, as a check is a check, but I'm far from the only one who's getting sick of seeing his face and everything. I enjoy him as an actor, but the last few years I've begun to sour on him seeing his face in every major franchise. Then there's Vanessa Kirby. No real issues with her, but it does seem the cast is a bit on the older side. But then again, with Pedro in his 50s, it would make a bit more sense than having someone in their 20s cast as his wife. With Ben, my only real issue is that his voice is a little bit soft, but it is nice to see him cooking, which is a nice nod to the comic book enjoyers. Then we have Johnny Storm. So I'm sure many of you know as cocky, a show-off, and a little bit of a ladies' man, so you wouldn't be wrong in thinking that this portrayal is going to be no different. But oh, you would be wrong. As said in an interview with the actor portraying him, Joseph Quinn, this version of Johnny is not going to be a ladies' man. Instead, he's going to be more self-aware and emotionally considerate. Yes, because that's exactly what would happen to a guy like him from the 60s, with superpowers, money, fame, and ladies throwing themselves at him. But that's besides the point. Let's quickly go through the list of the other changes they've made to this character. Is he flirty? Oh no, he's respectful and modern. No pranking, not even with his friend Ben, but he's still funny. Hot-headed? Oh no, he's grounded and he's very collaborative with the team. Loves the spotlight? Pff, of course not, he's modest. The list just keeps going, and after leaks from the test screening it makes perfect sense why. First off, the main thing coming out of this is the phrase MCU again, and from what I've seen, I can understand why. Unfortunately, this has turned out to be more of a Sue Storm and her entourage rather than the Fantastic Four movie. It seems that Sue Storm teams up with the girl boss, Silver Surfer, and together they take down Galactus, leaving the three men with kind of nothing to do all movie. And it seems that this is the only reason they've picked the female Silver Surfer, because it definitely wasn't for her popularity in the comics. And according to the leaks, she's just kind of there for a lot of the movie. It's a shame as they're really starting to slowly change how they were doing things, but instead they've jumped right back into the pit they've caught themselves out of. You would think abysmal ratings, no audience engagement, and millions lost would give them enough of a hint, but I guess not. It seems they just love the pain of repeating the same mistakes they've been making for the last 5 years, obviously with some odd exceptions here and there, which is even more bizarre given how many reshoots they've had of the third act of this movie. Nothing is saying it still can't be a good movie, but with the crazy budgets of these kind of movies these days, it's a safe prediction that this is going to be another flop, at least in terms of money made. But we'll just have to see how it goes when it comes out in a couple of weeks. So that's all from me, I thank you for watching, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.